Hello, it's Allison, and today on Thinking Outside the Box, I am going to show you how I created these sweet boho sparkle flower earrings. They are pretty easy to make. It's mainly just having patience because they take a little time. But once you've made one pair, the second will be easier, the third will be even easier, and before you know it, you'll be making one of every color. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up with supplies and we'll get started. Okay, so here are the supplies that you're going to need to create these earrings exact. You're going to need UV resin of your choice. You're gonna need some flat back gemstones for the middle of your flower, toothpicks, washi tape, some Born Pretty purple, some alcohol pearl inks, and this is in Villainous, which is purple, which actually comes out pink, and this is Alchemy. And these are both the, the new alcohol pearls from Ranger. You're going to need a sponge tip applicator and a couple of ear wires. And I chose these. You're going to need your petals, which are just metal teardrop findings or drop findings. And you'll need a couple closed jump rings. And these are 5mm. And I'll have links to everything you see here in the description below this video. So if you want to know, other than the washi tape and the toothpicks, I may not be able to figure out where I got these flat back gems, but you can find flat back gems on eBay, you know, Etsy, all sorts of places. So I may not have the links to those. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up and we'll go ahead and get started on making a boho sparkle flower. So the first thing that you're going to need is 20 of these right here. And there's, to the petals on the flowers, there's 5, and I've layered them. So each flower is gonna take 10 petals. So what we first wanna do is get these set up on a tile so that we can begin to apply the resin to them. And you're gonna need your washi tape for this. And I like to take a strip and I just fold down the ends on each side, and then I need to put that down on the tile. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of masking tape and take my washi, lay it on my tile, and tape that down. Take the other end and tape it down also. I'm gonna do one more like that and I'll be back. So I forgot to mention that you're also gonna need a UV lamp, and I have mine off to the side. So you're gonna go ahead and start putting these on your tape. And I do 10 on each tape. And for now, you're just putting them down. And I like to put them point side down because we're gonna be putting 2 different colors of resin on here. So what do I have? 1, 2, 4, 8, 9. One more on there. And put the remaining drops on the other side, or the other tape, I should say. All right, and the easiest way that I have found, instead of pushing each one down, is just take an acrylic block and just lay it on top of them. They're about 2 millimeters high, so this isn't gonna touch the tape. You're just making sure that they're burnished onto the tape. Now our next step is going to be mixing the resin. And I'm gonna zoom back out just a little bit so that we have everything in shot. I like to take, this is just from a protector for like files, and I have found that the resin does not stick to this. So when I'm done with it, I stick it under the light and just peel the resin up. So we're gonna go ahead and mix our colors. And we're gonna put some resin down. We're using 2 colors. We're using the purple and the yellow, and the purple actually turns to a pink, which is really weird, but it does. So this is going to be where I'm gonna put the purple. I'm gonna put extra down so I don't have to mix twice. I want the color to be consistent. And this is for our middle, for our yellow. And we need a toothpick. Actually, we need 2 toothpicks. And we're gonna go ahead, shake. These are the new alcohol pearls, and you really need to shake them good because there's mica in them. So you wanna make sure that that is dispersed, and that's what gives it the pearl effect. All right. Now you want to go easy when you add any kind of colorant to your resin. We're working with the small amount of resin, so we don't want to add a bunch of color because we'll start breaking down the resin and compromising it. So I think I'm just going to add a little shaky this morning. Just 3 drops to this. And we'll go ahead and stir it up and see what we have. All right, we'll add 1 more. And you want to mix that well. Some of that alcohol in the ink is going to evaporate, so you want to mix it up in there before that happens. See the sheen that you get from the mica that's in the alcohol ink. These are really pretty, and they come in 12 colors, I believe. Yeah, 12 colors so far. Now go ahead and mix your yellow up. That's going to be the center of our flower. And I think I just used 1 drop for that. So I'll go ahead. Left hand doesn't want to work today. Yeah, 1 drop will be plenty for your middle. Mix that up really good. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to be taking the resin and putting it onto our pieces. And I like to do, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in a little more. I like to do just a few at a time and then go ahead and put them under my UV lamp. So I start with the middle, the yellow, and put that just at the tip. And I'll do about 4 of them and then stick it under the lamp for about a minute to set it and then work on more of them. So you've got those at the tip, and now you're going to add your purple for the rest of the petal. And you're only putting in a couple drops from your toothpick, or 1 big drop. You're not going crazy with this because we're actually going to dome it with clear. So it's all right if you bring it up to the top, to the very edge, but you don't want to go past that because we need to dome this still with some clear. And we'll get our 4th one. And I like to just kind of blend where the 2 colors meet without, you know, losing my yellow, because we definitely want that in the center. And go ahead and put this under the UV lamp for about a minute, come back, do 4 more, put it under the lamp for a minute, come back, do 4 more, and I'll be back. I'm not gonna sit here and bore you with doing all these. Okay, I have done all 20 of them, and they have set in under the UV lamp just for a little while. So I'm going to go ahead, now that they're all set, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back into the UV lamp for 10 minutes. And while that's in the lamp, I just wanted to show you a few things. Let me get this out of the way. I have made some other flowers, and these that I'm about to show you are created the same way, except I use different things for the colorant. And these are like a light teal or turquoise. And I did not use alcohol ink for this. I actually used chalks. And these are pastel artist chalks. And for this, I used this color here along with a green center. And I created these blue the same way with the artist chalks, and I used this color here along with the green center. And instead of the purple Born Pretty on top of these, which I'm going to show you in our next step, I actually used blue, the blue Born Pretty on that one. And on the turquoise ones, I used the teal Born Pretty for these. Now, the pink earrings in the beginning, I told you we used the purple alcohol ink, or I showed you how we did that. It came out pink, which was really cool. I mean, it's a really pretty pink, but I wanted purple. So I created these using the chalks. And I used this chalk here, this lighter purple, with a touch of the darker purple. And if you notice, this one doesn't have like the sparkles in it that the others have. This one kind of glows if you look at it. When you move it around, it glows. And instead of using the Born Pretty, if you don't want a lot of sparkle to it and you want it to glow like the purple, I use these Interference. I use the Interference Violet Pearl and the Interference Blue Pearl you could use. There's gold, red, and green. Now your red isn't going to be a deep red, but it is definitely a red. So if you want more of a glow, you'll use these, and I'll tell you when we get to that step, you'll know. But I just wanted to show that you don't have to just use alcohol inks. You could add glitter, you can add all sorts of things. you know, to get the color that you're looking for and the look that you're looking for. But I wanted to show you of the ones that I created how or what I used to make the colors. So we're gonna let the little petals cure a little more under the UV lamp, and I will return. All right, so these are all cured, and what we want to do now is take them off of the tape. And to do that, you just simply, the good thing about washi tape and the reason that I use it is because it's so easy to take things off of. So I'm just going to peel these off and put them, what was down and stuck to the tape is now going to be put up onto the tile. So you're just gonna go ahead and pull these all off and place them upside down. The part that was stuck to the tape is now going to be up onto your tile. And what we're going to do is we're going to cure the back side of these. Even though the light can get through them, I still like to cure them again, just to make sure that everything is good to go. So I'm going to pop these back under the lamp for about 5 minutes. And they're all gonna be upside down. All right, so I'm gonna put these back under the lamp for about 5 minutes and I'll be back. Remember this that we used to mix our colors? I went ahead and put it under the UV lamp, and now it peels right off. And I can just peel the rest of these off. And once I've done that, this can be used again. All right, these are cured, and we are going to put them exactly the way they were on the tile. All right, this one flipped over, so this would be a good time to show you. Where it's really shiny, you know that that is the upside, and where it's kind of dull, that's the petal upside down, and it'll be very flat too. So we want to put them all in that orientation onto our surface. Because our next step, we are going to be laying the petals out in the shape of a flower for our first layer. And this is the step that is going to take a little time, because you want to make sure you get it right the first time, because once you do it and once you put the resin on there, it is stuck in stone. It's not going to change. All right. You want to go ahead and pull out 5 of your petals. All of these petals are upside down, because we will eventually have them right side up. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of lay them out the way they should look, and then we'll do our adjusting in the next step. So just kind of put them all together in the shape of a flower. And now is when you're going to go in, and I like to use a pair of tweezers just to kind of tweak the setup of the petals. And I have found that this is the easiest way to do this, because to try and do this on something sticky and get them exactly where you want is no easy task. So without getting my head in the shot, I'm going to pull this towards me so I can see it a little better. And I want to adjust just a little more so that those petals weren't so close to each other. Yep. And I messed it up, but that's okay. You just move them back to where you want them. All right, that looks good to me. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to take, you wanna have your tile off to the side, and we are going to take some tape. And I got this tape at Tuesday morning, so I really don't know where you can get it. But I know that it works wonderfully when I can find the end to it to get it off the roll. I know that we've all struggled with this, so you can feel my struggle right now. All right, I found it. So I'm gonna pull a bit of this off, about that much. Grab a pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut this tape off the roll. Now, you have a strip like that, you're going to fold the ends over so it makes it easier to handle. It's not always sticking to your fingers. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, I've turned the sticky side down, I'm going to put my finger here, and I'm going to go up to that flower and just push real quick to pick up all the petals. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on my tile. And I'm going to secure that down with some masking tape. And make sure it's flat. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with one more flower, and I'll be back. All right, so now what you have is your flower, your lower petals, right side up. Because you put the tape on the back side of them, and then you flipped it over, you're now right side up. So our next step is to apply the Born Pretty. Let me make sure I'm in the shot here. And that's when I like to use the sponge applicator. So you just dab it in there, get a little bit of your Born Pretty on there, and then simply rub it on the petal. And you can get the yellow part too, but I start up at the colorized part, the purple, which is now pink. And you're just gonna burnish that in good. You're gonna do that to all of the petals. You're just using a little bit of the Born Pretty and burnishing it in. So you can see the sparkle that it's given it compared to what it was. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other flower, and I'll be back. All right, I have applied the Born Pretty to all of the petals. Now the petals that you had off to the side are upside down still. So you wanna turn all of those right side up. because we are now working with the top of the flower. So all of these will be flipped up. And we are going to do one at a time. What I like to do is just take a small mold, silicone mold, and I like to put some resin in it. Because rather than applying the resin this way directly to the flower, you don't have control over that. Sometimes you'll get a little drop, sometimes you'll get a big drop. So it's best to work with a toothpick and some resin off, off to the side in a container. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply resin on this flower. Actually, I'm gonna do it on this flower. And then we're gonna put our top petals on. So you're just putting some drops on there, not a whole bunch, just enough where we can make those others stick. So I'm just putting like one little drop on each petal. And now I'm gonna move that around onto the petal. Making sure it's fully coated. And we need just a little bit more on this one. You want to get it out to the edges. And it's okay if you get resin on the metal part. No one's ever even going to see that. As long as you do it evenly, it's fine. So now I just want to put one little drop in the middle. Put that off to the side. And now we are going to take our petals and we are going to place them on top. And I like to do in the middle of the other petals. And for right now, you're just gonna drop them on there. You don't have to worry about placing them exact at this point. We're just getting them on the flower. We're gonna be putting 5 on there. So just grab 5 of your petals. And put them on the flower. And now we're going to put them where we want them. So you're just gonna go around, and what I like to do is you can see below or through the flower petal. You wanna make sure that you keep your middle, but you can see where the other petal is below it. So I just kind of line it up with that, where these are in the middle. And of course, eyeballing the center there. And you just go around until you like what you have. And I think this needs to be pushed in a little more here. That needs to be pushed in a little more there. So our flower is a little more even. You want to make sure that your petals aren't too far over, but you're keeping them all centered. And you just go around, you got plenty of time to do this. You just go around and tweak it until you're happy. All right, I mean, that's as good as I'm gonna get it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that under the UV lamp for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to do the other flour, pop it under the UV lamp for 10 minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, these are finished curing. So what we need to do is we need to put our Born Pretty layer on the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that quickly. And if you wanted this to be glowing, you would use the interference pearls that I showed you earlier. But I'm redoing this flour exact from the one that I showed you in the beginning, so I could show you exactly how I did that. And you can tell that my purple Born Pretty is well loved because I am down to not a whole lot of it left. I tend to use this color a lot. All right, that's burnished in there good. And our next step is to coat the top of our flour and go ahead and apply our gemstone. All right, I've chosen 2 gemstones, and I'm gonna put them right here on my tile, which they'll probably be in the way, but, and we are gonna go ahead like we did the first time and put just a little bit of resin in our container so that we can precisely put the resin where we want it. So we're just dropping some drops onto the petals. And this is kind of the doming stage of the top. And I like to put one nice big drop on each one. Now I also like to hit these lower petals with just a little bit of resin to give them just a little extra dome. And now go back up to your upper petals and just make sure that your resin is out to the edges. You might have to apply just a little bit more to a petal. And that looks good. Now I'm just going to put one little drop in the center, because that's where we are going to put our gem. So just grab one of your gems and drop it right in the middle. And this part you want to be careful not to have any kind of resin on your tool, whatever you use, when you go ahead and situate your gem. Because if you touch some resin to that, you're going to change the look of your gem. So this looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this under the UV lamp for a couple minutes. I'm gonna do the same to this one that I did to that one. And then I'm going to put this under the lamp for 10 minutes to cure, and I'll be back. Okay, our pieces are fully cured. And now we just wanna go ahead and pull them up off the tape. And I like to take them by the edge and just pull them right off. So you're just taking it by the edge of the flower and pulling them right off the tape. All right, now we need to put our little closed or soldered jump rings onto the backs of these. And the easiest way to do that is, I do it in my UV lamp, but for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and use a UV flashlight because it's really hard to set my camera up looking into the UV lamp, and you don't really wanna look into the UV lamp anyway. So I'm going to take the little mold that we used earlier and I'm gonna turn it upside down, and I'm gonna put just a dab of UV resin on there, just a drop. Now we're going to figure out what part of our flower we want dangling, you know, right side from our ear. So you just kind of turn it around and look at it, and you're gonna pick one of the outer petals to put our jump ring on. So I think I like that petal there. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it upside down. And what I like to use is just something where something that's open that it can rest on, where that crystal is going, you know, because you can't really lay it on a tile to do this at this point because it'll be uneven. You need it to be flat and even. So I'm gonna use that petal there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lay it on there so that the crystal is inside that hole. And I find that these round molds work best for that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that with the second earring and look at what I feel looks the best for the way it'll hang. And I think I'm gonna go with this petal right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that down. Make sure that it's flat. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use UV resin to put these little jump rings up at the tip. And what I like to do is go ahead and grab your jump ring like so. Let me turn it this way so that it's flat in your tweezers. And I'm just tipping the end there to get ready to put it on the flower. Now place it where you want it and go ahead and turn on your light until there's no more movement. And just let it sit there for, you know, a couple minutes because we're just quick setting it at this point. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that with the other. Go ahead and get dip it, just the edge of it, not dipping the whole thing, just a little bit on that edge, and put it where you want it on your flower. And sorry, I'm a little shaky. Go ahead and hit it with the light until you can move it away. And those are set on there now. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and resin the backs of these. But first, I am going to just cure the resin that was on the back of that because I need that little mold to precisely put the resin where I want it. We're going to be resining all of the petals, including these lower ones. And we're going to start with the lowers and work our way around and then get the top. We're not really going for a dome. We're just going for a protection on this point and to build up a little resin around where your rings are. So you're going to want to put some resin in your mold so that you can work with this precisely. Grab a toothpick and go ahead and start putting a little bit of resin on these lower petals first. And really, we're just putting the resin there to give them a shine. You know, people do see the backs of earrings sometimes. So you want to make sure that those look good too. Just like any of your polymer clay pieces or resin pieces that you make, you want the back sides to look good also. And like I said, we're only going for a coat of resin here. We're not going for a dome. And all right, now we're going to go ahead and hit each petal with a drop of resin. And then we'll go ahead and spread that out. So just spread it evenly across each petal. And if you need to add a little more resin, that's fine. Add a little more resin. And on this one, I like to add enough where it's really going to hold that piece. So I go a little on top of the bottom part of the jump ring there, just to make sure there's plenty of resin on it. And then I go ahead and like to hit a drop in the middle, because what's holding this all together is your resin. You want to make sure that little ring doesn't come off, because that's what's going to hold your earring, your ear wire, onto your flower. All right, so that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and pop that under the UV lamp for a minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same with this one, and then pop this back into the UV lamp for 10 minutes, and I will be back and show you how to put the ear wires on. All right, we are back, and the back sides are fully cured. And the back looks just as nice as the front. We have brilliant sparkle. And now we're going to go ahead and put our ear wires on. And I really like these ear wires because they're simple. They have a nice little ball at the tip, and they're really easy to work with. So you're just going to take your flower, and this is the front side of your earring, so you want it to go on front side. And just take a plier, pair of pliers, and pinch. And it's that simple. Go ahead and do the other. Take the pliers and pinch. And that is it. You have yourself a sweet and sparkly pair of boho flower earrings. And they were really easy to make. So I know you're going to love finding other colorants to use. Like I said, you can use the chalk and the alcohol inks. If you want to go with more of an opaque, add extra chalk to your resin mix. You could even put dabs of paint in there. You know, however you want to do it, you play with it, you experiment it. But these are the flowers that I have created. And I know that they're going to be addicting. You're going to want every color of the rainbow to match every outfit. And people are going to look at you and go, ooh, where did you get those? And you're going to say, hey, I made those. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that it has inspired you and that you are going to have fun creating these flowers. I really love bringing you free tutorials every Tuesday. And that's it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And till next time, have a great week. Bye for now.